Well, a Minnesotan is now the new leader of the Democratic National Committee.
It has been just over 48 hours since Ken Martin, the longtime leader of Minnesota's DFL, was elected. But already work is being done to recover from the election cycle. Danny Spiewak joins us now with more from the state capitol. Danny?
Well, Ken Martin is transitioning from Minnesota state party politics to national party politics at a pretty critical moment in the history of the Democratic Party, coming off some poor election results at the federal level, losing the presidency in November and the Senate having already lost the House. The Democratic National Committee is turning to Martin to rebuild the future.
We got punched in the mouth in November. There's no two ways about it.
As the next chair of the Democratic National Committee, Ken Martin's job is to win elections.
If you have a clear message and you have a consistent message, it will break through. And I think Ken knows how to lead that effort.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison was recruited by Martin years ago to run for Congress.
He identifies political talent and he encourages people to run. And I think this is going to serve him well around the country.
In his campaign for DNC chair, Martin highlighted his working class roots as Minnesota's DFL chair.
I was one of 4 kids raised by a single mom.
In an effort to recapture a demographic that has drifted toward Republicans in recent years.
And it's nice to see somebody rise out of the ranks of the state party chairs to be the national party chair.
Mike Erlandson served as Minnesota DFL chair prior to Martin.
He's been successful in a state that's really purple more than it is blue, despite of our long successes.
Since Martin took over in 2011, no Republican has won statewide office in Minnesota. Although in the most recent November elections, his party lost control of the now dysfunctional state house and failed to win the presidency with Governor Tim Walz on the ticket. Still, Minnesota was the only blue wall state that went to Harris Walz, and Democrats chose Martin as DNC chair over Wisconsin party chair Ben Wickler, who had the backing of some major party donors and leaders.
Democrats from across the nation haggled and talked and debated and listened to each other and disagreed with each other, came up with a decision. I'm glad it was Ken Martin. And with Martin becoming national DNC chair, that leaves a vacancy at the state level. So the Minnesota DFL here in the state of Minnesota is going to have to pick a replacement. That election from the DFL will not happen until later next month. And so there will be an interim period here where Martin is still the head of the DFL in Minnesota, in addition to his duties at the national level. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Danny.